This is my second roundup of the Steam Autumn Sale. We'll start with Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed. It's a kart racing game developed by Sumo Digital and released almost 3 years ago. It's priced at $5 and is 75% off. As far as kart racers go, it's probably the best one on Steam, and while previous attempts of Sonic racing games were rather unsuccessful, this one does everything right. The controls are tight and there is decent keyboard support, there's 25 maps and around 20 playable characters. Every vehicle can transform between a kart, a boat and a plane, which makes for a very interesting level design as you change between modes mid-race. There is also online multiplayer as well as 4-player split screen, and the single-player bots are fairly competitive. Overall, the game is really fun, and having friends to play it with only makes it better. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's a pirate simulator with a bit of Assassin's Creed latched onto it. It's developed by Ubisoft Montreal and was released on the 19th of November 2 years ago. It's currently $7.50 and is on a 75% sale. You play as Edward Kenway, a pirate who by random chance became an assassin. Unlike most AC games, Black Flag distinguishes itself by providing very fun sea battles with other different leveled ships. There is also a decent customization system for both your character and his vessel. The world is quite big and contains a lot of collectibles and challenges. One of the biggest strengths of the game is that it deviates from the Assassin's Creed formula and tries something new and succeeds. If you haven't played Black Flag, this is a great opportunity to get it, and if you already own it but want more of the same, there is also a 50% sale on Assassin's Creed Rogue, which while very similar to Black Flag has a very interesting story and great characters. But beware, as both games use Uplay on top of the Steam DRM. Tomb Raider. This action-adventure game was released on the 5th of March 2013 and was developed by Crystal Dynamics. It's currently $5 and is 75% off. The story is set before the original games, when Lara Croft didn't know about the magical properties of ancient items, and is on her way of becoming a real Tomb Raider. The visuals are great and the performance is top-notch, and there is a decent amount of weapons as well as weapon crafting. While the story is interesting and fairly linear, the game never sells itself as a big open-world experience, but allows for some free movement and exploration. If you like adventure games and have a bit of money to spend, this game is definitely worth your time. The Stanley Parable. A first-person walking simulator with an amazing narrator, great sense of humor, it was released 2 years ago and was developed by Galactic Cafe. It's currently $3 and is on an 80% sale. In the game you play as Stanley, a working guy who finds himself all alone in his office, with only a mysterious voice to guide him. You, the player, will decide if you want to trust this voice and do as he says, or disobey him and listen to his reactions. There is a decent amount of replayability as you will try to explore the branching story to reach the multiple endings. All in all, the Stanley Parable is a very unique experience and great fun, especially at this price. Finally, we have Hotline Miami, a hyper-violent shooter which incidentally requires a lot of planning and thinking. It's 3 years old and was developed by Denaton Games and is selling for $2.50 at a 75% discount. In this game, your enemies and you die in one hit, so careful planning is required to progress through the very intriguing story. The music is one of the best features of the game, and because the game's visuals are tied to the rhythm, it's incredibly immersing. The pixelated art style is well done and is fitting considering that the game is set in the 1980s. The story is linear and there isn't a lot of replayability, but the time you'll spend playing will be very enjoyable. If you don't own it, now's the chance, and while you're at it, the sequel is on a 40% sale, and while it's not quite as good, it's still very entertaining. This was my second roundup of the Steam Autumn Sale. I hope you enjoyed and see you next time.